Numbers are numbers, and numbers are numbers.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
All right, it's crossover time. Willard and Dibs have entered the building, and I have to break something to Dibs.
Oh, no. I had a feeling you had something. There was a concoction.
I came in today.
Oh, God.
And the boss actually said, you know what? I don't have a ton to do today. So, yeah, I'll mess with Dibs.
Okay.
We put a little something together from yesterday.
It was a blitz on that play, and Campbell.
Oh, they blitzed on 3rd and 4th down.
They did
on both those plays. Yeah, they were aggressive with pressure.
Zone read, and you see Bosa crash immediately toward Connor, and Murray pulls it, and he's got. After 5 yards, he's already pointing to the heavens because he's virtually untouched.
Well, it's not zone read. It's not a zone read. It's a quarterback sweep.
Tomorrow they're going to Seattle to take on a Mike McDonald team, and he was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore last year who gave the Niners all kinds of fits.
Well, actually, he didn't. That game, they marched up and down the field in the first half. They went through that defense without a problem at all.
No, 5 picks would tell me that they did something right, at least, to be able to get 5 picks from the 49ers.
I think it was 3, was it not?
It was 4 off Brock, and then Sammy D came in and threw
we don't care about that.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy has dropped back 185 times this year and has had 3 tipped balls. So it's not really a conversation.
It's about 2%, Greg, based on my rudimentary math.
I don't really think that's a conversation.
Yeah, nor do I. And I just was thinking about Baltimore last year and the fact that I think they had 2 tip ball interceptions, one at the line, one which was further down the field.
Yeah,
and
those are fluky plays.
I'm fighting for my life.
Hearing it the second time was so much worse than in real time.
I'm down on loop until the game starts. I don't even want to do the show today.
Tiz, what did you do to him?
That was incredible.
It wasn't so read.
But he was blocking everything.
My favorite part is like tip balls. He's like, tip balls is not a conversation. I don't think it's a conversation. You're like, neither do I. That's why I brought it up. Oh, my God.
So yesterday I get in my car and I start listening. I missed the interview, but all I hear for about 10 minutes is you guys laughing about it. And at that point, I was like, well, I got to hear it. And I went back and listened, and it was worth every second of that interview.
It is one of the most intense interviews I've ever been involved in my entire life, because I caught a couple of strays, too. I had to duck out of the way of a couple things, too, that were bouncing off of Dibs. I'm just sitting here talking. And the text line,
don't play with Dibs like that,
dude. Text, they're just like, damn, Greg is salty. Wow, right hook, bam. Why is this just whack?
It's like a movie where I don't even know what genre you want to talk about, but the guy gets shot. It's like almost Pacino in Scarface, where he gets shot 19 times before he finally goes down. I'm just taking bullet wound after bullet wound.
Yeah, it was the opening scene to Saving Private
When did you realize he was on you, though? He was on your pants leg.
We got the zone read. Okay. And because yes, it was. I didn't mean. I said zone read.
It was read option.
Then he said that was a quarterback sweep. Okay, it was a quarterback sweep. He didn't give it to the running back. And
that was
what's
great.
funny is, and you know this, Goo, and I kind of took my cue from you about I watched the game 3 times.
Yeah.
I literally watch it a second time, and I take detailed notes, and I even watch some plays 3 times because I want to make sure that I'm buttoned up, and I'm trying to get better about what I see. And this guy comes in yesterday and just rat-a-tat-tat.
My man is sitting there with a 2-sided chicken scratch all over a piece of paper, and he's just firing questions off. And Cosell is just son.
I got son.
Whack. Yeah. I mean, whack-a-mole. Just whacked you on the top of the head after every question.
Seriously.
All you missed was him saying, your name ain't Dibley.
Dude, seriously.
That's all that was left out.
And the roughest part, too, is he jumped the route on like 3 questions. I couldn't even finish the question. He jumped the route, dude. It's like he was on me before I could even finish.
Well, he took a page from me. I told him before the interview started.
Interrupt this clown.
Dibs loves it when you
Steiny, that was great, man.
talk over him.
Can I ask a serious question? it kind of feels like he's in on the joke, but you don't.
Well, the best thing is,
I don't think
at the end of all this, we got a text line. I'm not kidding. 30 texts. They're like, "What the hell's up with Cosell?" We're like, "All right, thanks." He goes, "Man, I love coming on with you guys. Let's talk to you next week.
Can't wait till Wednesday."
Oh my God,
dude! It just
so no, I think he's such
was great.
He's
man.
such a matter of fact brain,
right?
That he just. You know,
it is fascinating the way he will never say like, "Oh yeah, he made a bad." Like he just gives you like facts,
no opinion.
I don't know what was in his head, so I can't tell you.
Right.
I don't know what is in his head. I don't know.
I know he's holding the ball.
I'm like, Greg, Brock threw it with his left hand. What do you think? He's like, I have nothing to say about that.
Exactly.
He might have been told to throw it with his left hand.
Yeah. The term is savant, and it's short for idiot savant, but he's not an idiot, so he's just a savant.
God,
he looks at the film, and he just is. And the first thing he said is like, "Yeah, guys, I took notes on this and that." And he starts reading his notes and all the rest of it, and he watches it. He takes his notes, and that's it.
Looking at film in the middle of the interview.
No, he did that.
Let me pull that one out.
Pull that play up right now.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, it got hot.
Next Wednesday, my approach is going to be totally different.
Okay, did you? Hey.
Greg, football, right? I mean, what'd you think of that game?
Wow.
Well, he's one of those.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I watched all the plays. If that's what you're talking about.
I love that.
I mean, he does have that in him. It's like, well, what happened on this play?
That was better than I thought,
Not a big
man.
deal. This is what happened. What about that? That's football, and that just happens. And
Dude.
well, he's not playing very well. Well, you got to have it in context. And
Did you take from it, though? Did you take from it that Greg also is like, the Niners are fine?
yes,
that's like-
as opposed to Ben
Yes.
Solik, who we
Yes.
had on earlier,
Correct.
who said he
He saw
expected the
week
Niners
10 last year
to regret.
He's like the defense
we
in
played
week
the
10.
we played the
Yeah.
part about if you don't go from the Super Bowl to a bad team. That would happen too quick.
Yeah.
Like they're not. He sounds like a guy who thinks they lost 2 outlier games. Kind of.
Kind of agree with him.
I
kind of agree with him.
I'm agreeing with him for now.
For now, sure.
The rat on the
Ask me
table
again at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but the
Right.
rat on the table from hearing that sound is, I do wonder why he's holding it a little longer. I don't think he's hearing us and, I'm going to go out there and be Josh Allen. I am now focused on Ayuk and Debo in regard to, is there something going on to them not getting
they
open
open?
to where Brock's not throwing them under the bus,
Yeah.
no pun intended, but he kind of got me thinking, Will really, something's up, and he's not, I want to run for my life, but if you ain't open, Dibs, I'm holding that thing a little longer.
Yeah, I'd say I'll go look at the all-22,
dude.
but not anymore.
I needed it all 22 for that interview. There was so much
Dibs,
going
it's
on.
incredible, man.
It's like when you know the play that the other team's going to run. Like when the Bucks and the Raiders played in the Super Bowl.
Oh, boy, yeah.
And Gruden's
everybody knew it.
and they had every play down pat. That's what that interview was like. He knew where I was going, and he was jumping the route all day on me.
Yeah, that was
Pretty funny.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. How are we feeling about the game tonight, boys?
Pretty good.
Yeah, me too.
Like a little cautious optimism. I think that's the best phrase I could use. 2 reasons for optimism. I'm not big on. I wasn't even big on Seattle's 3-0 start. Their 3-0 start, and look, you win the games you win, and I'm not taking a shot at them, but if you look at the quarterbacks that Seattle has played so far this year, and by the way, the 49ers have not played necessarily the greatest group of quarterbacks either, but if you look at the quarterbacks Seattle has played this year, they've played one who can really hold water in the NFL, and he torched them.
Detroit.
Okay. Detroit. Outside of that, if I can do this from memory,
Daniel Jones.
They faced Daniel Jones. They faced Jacoby Brissett. They faced the remnants of whatever's happening with Miami's quarterback situation.
Yep, that was Skylar Thompson, I think they faced.
Correct.
Oh, boy.
And then on opening day, who did they play? Week 1. Then they struggled. They won, but I can't believe I'm forgetting this off the top of my head. But Seattle's first game this year was, Bo Nix. Bo Nix's first game as a professional. That's what they faced at quarterback. So and also in talking to Greg yesterday, like this is a defense that the 49ers should really be able to attack.
And so was the Rams.
Well, sure, and they did.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, right? Like,
Arizona too.
Yeah, the second halves have been bad. And so you just hope it doesn't happen again. But the other reason for optimism, I think, I don't know exactly when the switch gets flipped or whatever, but if you really do go over the history of Kyle Shanahan's 49ers, once they became good, you give them a year or two to get things going. Once they became good, they struggle often out of the gate, and then they figure it out. And then November and December get here, and they kick everybody's butt.
Yeah.
That's been their cadence.
That's how it goes.
So I gotta feel like tonight's the night.
Well, that would tell you that tonight's not the night,
Well, it's not
because
November,
traditionally in the record after Halloween, the last 3 years is remarkable. It's something on the order of like 27-5 in the regular season after Halloween. We're still in October, but this should be a spot considering how injured Seattle is. I was on with our old buddy Softy up there in Seattle yesterday, and they've got their edge rushers out. Their offensive line is completely patchwork. They're a mess. And they're coming off a game where they had their star running back carry it 5 times.
Unbelievable.
So, we had Warren Moon on. We asked him about that.
A little bit of a weird situation. Now, will they run it more against the Niners? I think they will. And
why wouldn't you?
Right. And I would think that both these teams off a sharp week are going to try to shorten the game down a little bit by running it. I think, shout out Prize Picks, I'm going to put my entry in here momentarily. It's a Jordan Mason game for me. He only had 14 carries on Sunday. He should be fresher than he otherwise would. I think that this is a game where Shanahan tries to control the clock and run the ball against a pretty depleted Seattle front. That's what I think. What do I know?
Yeah, well, that's his lock of the week. He got the Niners tonight. Minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give out my pick a little bit later. Fade the Dibbers has turned into a fun little madcap segment because the whole thing was built on going against me, and I started out pretty good, but I'm right where they want me to be. All I do is lose, and get clowned on Wednesday interviews.
Well, the problem is when he picks the 49ers, they don't just lose. They lose in some sort of like epic fall apart fashion.
And so now it's on me.
So we've been begging him to not pick the 49ers, and he keeps doing it. And the season's about to be over because
I had $7,000 of show play money. I'm down to 2 and 3 Niner losses.
Where's Steiny at on that?
He's betting $40 of his $7,000, so he's got a lot.
He's playing.
I'm a little more conservative.
He's in the prevent defense already in week 6.
But it's like the price is right when you bid one more than the other guy, just to be safe. So
I went off on a caller earlier. He called. Was he from Kansas City? And we can do a lot of things in sports talk radio. Thank you. And I've been Team Ayuk before he got the deal because I think highly of him, and I think highly of Debo and this weaponry. And he called in insinuating, who's calling the plays? Why would Brandon Ayuk get 115 yards in the first half and all of a sudden disappear in the second, as if the Niners made a conscious effort to say, Willard's got a lot, that's enough for you, we're not going to feed you anymore. And I had to go off because that's not what's happening. Jawan Jennings is balling maybe because he's been open, and Purdy's dropping back to pass. Not, I'm throwing it to Dibs. I'm not looking at Willard and Guru and Steiny. The football to me doesn't work that way. It's who's open. So I'm sitting here like I am really concerned moving forward that Ayuk / Debo, the Yak brothers, are letting Purdy down. And the more, I'm assuming a win tonight, but y'all got to put up some production.
That's an interesting take.
It's real, and Purdy is not. I know if we were having a drink, man, my dude, why are you holding it longer?
No,
I'm not Michael Vick. I've never been. They're not getting open. I think there's something to that, man.
Well, you're absolutely right with the way football works. Like, I feel like a lot of people who call in and say that, maybe they watch the way I used to play Madden against my son, which is that I know when I come out of the huddle where I'm throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I got the A button, and that's where I'm throwing it. If it's guarded, too bad, I'm going to throw a pick. That's it. But what a rip to Brock Purdy if you think that every single thing he does was called by Kyle Shanahan.
Man.
Like, there's a progression, and all of those were called. But if we're going to believe, and most of us do, that that's literally what Brock does best, which is see the field and go through progressions, then where the ball ends up is not coming from the sideline. It's like, it's not.
Debo has no reception, one receiving touchdown. Ayuk either. Why?
Right. I think that you're having George Kittle, who's more open, and Jawan Jennings had that monster game. Debo missed a game. And I think that what I'm seeing, not on the film, because God forbid I look at a game twice ever again, but when you look at Brock getting back to his back foot, the pocket's breaking down, or he's fleeing the pocket quickly because
they're coming for him.
And so if you're not in the pocket, you can't really go through your progressions because now you're out there running wild and it's backyard football.
That's what it looks like it's been, though.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Hold on, guys.
I have it if you
The
want
veranda.
it. I have it. Would you like me to do it?
Can you please?
I'm happy to do it, Steiny.
Time for the legal.
Happy Thursday to you. You're listening to 95.7 The Game.
Time for the legal.
FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer.
Before you go,
oh, yeah.
Can you give me a scouting report on the veranda?
Yes.
What's the venue like? What are you expecting crowd-wise?
Oh, no,
What's
I can't.
your approach?
It'll be my first trip to the veranda. It looks like there's a big open area.
Yeah.
Is this that shopping center?
Yes, sir. Right there.
I've been to veranda.
Right,
the veranda is it's top notch.
Yep.
It's high quality. Yeah, the clientele are upscale and elite.
Tell them about your first ever
environment.
Well,
your first ever
our listeners won't be able to get in.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah.
We got a classy group here.
Real quick, tell them about your first ever remote with Townie and how many people showed up. You and Townie.
2 technically, but it was pretty much just a guy and his wife. But she didn't really want to.
Someday we can share remote stories because I got a million
There's
of
a
them.
ton of them. Also, no, before you go, I did hear you laughing. I could hear,
thank you, Willard.
I heard you laughing.
He was trying to get.
You're not the only one.
You didn't
who
hear the
caught,
Willard impersonator
who caught
today?
Shots. This
Oh,
guy.
my God.
I don't remember what it was. His name, Bob or Spencer, whoever you are. It was objectively, it was hilarious.
Bad,
I'm totally
Brandy.
okay that you laughed at it. It was
He was
funny.
impersonating you,
Impersonated me.
It was
like a deep voiced Homer.
No, he had everything but the deep voice.
The cadence, that was the beautiful
No, he
part
did a
of it.
great
I'll tell you what,
job.
before we get out,
he did a great job of sounding like a snarky ass.
Tell you-
So it was a great.
Let Dibs
it was
take
a
a listen.
wonderful
Okay.
impersonation.
We go.
What's up, Willard? How you doing?
So, not too good. I'm hearing all this talk about Brock Purdy, people bringing up numbers, but guess what? They're just numbers. And numbers are numbers, and numbers are numbers. But when I bring up these top 5 stats that talk about Brock Purdy, they're not just numbers. They're more than that. So we can all relax, stop talking about Brock Purdy, because we all know that Brock is better than most quarterbacks in the league. And if you don't want to accept that, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's not a sensation.
Numbers are numbers, and numbers are numbers unless they're my numbers.
That's what he was saying.
Absolutely phenomenal. Plus,
Numbers are numbers,
thank you.
and numbers are numbers.
And then the very end, my favorite part is you all don't know this because I'm driving, and he pauses. If Purdy is better than most of the QBs, and if you don't know that, and he pauses, I finished his sentence for him. I knew exactly what he was going to say, and then he brought it home. I was like, yeah!
You got to get Dibs.
I can't help you.
Oh, that's so great.
Man. I don't know what to tell you.
That
if you
is
don't know
really
that.
funny.
And he heard Steiny was trying to quiet laugh, but Willard heard him.
I felt it. I
you
could
did.
feel it through the radio. I was looking at
I
it.
love you
Nobody
guys,
here takes
man.
themselves too seriously.
There you go.
Oh,
Man.
good job.
that was good stuff.
Whatever the hell your name
Great
was.
stuff. Have fun at
Yeah,
the
yes,
veranda.
sir.
So,
Well,
what
yeah.
time is it again?
We'll be out there at 4:15 from
Okay.
4:15 to 6:15.
Yep.
Guru and I come by, say hi at the veranda. And that's all coming courtesy of 95.7 The Game.